This is the old Capitol building on the campus of the University of Iowa, in Iowa City. In November 2001, a fire completely destroyed the Golden Dome that had been in place for over 100 years. It was determined that contractors were using a heat gun in doing renovations on the structure, which started the fire. It was ultimately rebuilt, remaining a symbol of the University of Iowa. Fast forward almost 18 years to Paris, where in April 2019, the famed Notre Dame Cathedral unexpectedly caught fire too, destroying part of the almost 900-year-old structure. The city of Paris as well as the French government has invested heavily in rebuilding the structure so that it can reopen in December 2024. Notre Dame is the cathedral of the Archdiocese of Paris, while the University of Iowa is a public, land-grant university. Nevertheless, both the Archdiocese of Paris and the University of Iowa must follow strict regulations in how they construct and manage their buildings, and, in doing so, seek professional advice to prevent a repeat of the aforementioned tragedies. The importance of following strict regulations and hiring skilled, professional expertise serves as a segue for the topic of today's discussion, Aplos Device Regulatory Consulting, UK Limited, which happens to be the producer of this video. Regulatory compliance simply means conforming to a rule, such as a specification, policy, standard or law. Aplos will discuss regulatory compliance in greater detail in a forthcoming video, but we are defining it here because our focus is to help companies navigate the regulatory compliance landscape but make it as easy and manageable as possible. The regulatory process scares a lot of entrepreneurs for many reasons. It entails compiling extensive yet nonetheless unfamiliar documentation, to organizing and formatting the submission so that reviewers will understand the product. Finally, inventors fear that regulators will not see the product's benefit and thus not approve its application. Nor does it help that many regulatory consultants do not make the process any easier. First, they often charge steep retainer fees, not to mention bloated hourly rates, despite not always doing a whole lot of work for the client. Furthermore, they often make the process seem as complex, cumbersome, and intimidating as possible. Whether companies are simply not good at explaining the regulatory process or if some companies try to make the process as intimidating as possible to justify charging very bloated fees, is ultimately irrelevant as it does not help the customer. While the Aplos team will not give an explicit opinion of these business practices, we think it is time for a new approach. So, what is the Aplos approach? First, we explain everything in simplest terms, the easiest definitions. It has often been said that Homer Simpson personifies the everyman. If Homer Simpson can understand a concept, anybody will understand it and we will explain everything so that Homer can understand it. That being said, this approach is absolutely essential. While regulatory clients are smart, educated and knowledgeable, explaining concepts in simple terms we find encourages customers, helps them understand what needs to be done, as well as the underlying reasons. This approach also helps with regulators. While an inventor knows everything about their product, regulators do not. When a file comes across their desk, that may be the very first time they have heard of the invention. If the writing is not crystal clear, a reviewer will have trouble understanding the product, how it works and, more to the point, why it should be approved. Simply put, if a submission is badly written, then you have a bad submission, regardless the product's actual merit. If anybody feels that regulatory submissions are not meant to be great writing that you see contained within these walls either here at Britain's biggest bookstore or at this library in North London, the Aplos team respectfully disagrees with that assessment. Good writing is good writing, be it works of fiction or a regulatory submission that could revolutionize medical care. Next, we do not nickel and dime our clients. Anyone who has flown with Southwest Airlines in the United States will know that they are a little more customer-friendly than many airlines out there, from never charging a change fee to allowing 2 free checked bags. Granted, aviation and regulatory compliance are two completely different industries, meaning we can't compare Aplos Consulting to Southwest Airlines. But we nonetheless look to Southwest as an example of being more customer-focused. Finally, we are upfront as to what we do so we do not waste anybody's time. Aplos consults with its clients on the regulatory process from start to finish with personalized attention and advice in every part of the regulatory submission. However, if we are not a good fit, then we will be just as honest so as not to waste your time. If somebody approaches us, for example, in overseeing a medical study at this hospital in London, the Aplos team does not assist with that, and we will advise anybody seeking this service to look elsewhere. So how can the Aplos team assist? Aplos Device Regulatory Consulting UK Limited helps companies interested in getting regulatory clearance for their products but without the bloated fees and intimidating jargon. We can help with advising clients on material to include in a submission, reviewing submissions, doing a gap analysis, and compiling regulatory documentation from scratch, as well as more. From our London-based offices, we work with companies all over the world. Contact us today to learn more about what we do, your needs, and how we might be able to assist. Please let us know too. What questions do you have? What would you like the Aplos team to address? Stay tuned for more videos on this channel. And thank you as always for watching.